Well, we want to say aloha to all of you again. We want to welcome you to our Eva Parker Woods Cottage here in the ancient lands of Pua'a, the home of Mauna, Lani, Auberge. And it's something that we have done for the past 24 years, an event called Twilight at Pua'a, a once-a-month gathering on the Saturdays closest to the full moon. And an event which we call Twilight, because it's at twilight time, just around sunset time, but at this very storied place called Pua'a. Since we can't really gather as we used to, we've this past year started more of a virtual series of talk stories here on the porch, the lanai of the Eva Parker Woods Cottage, and inviting family and dear friends to join us here on the lanai, on the porch, to join us in talk story, in song, perhaps hula. And every month that we do this, we always look forward to whomever joins us here on our little stage here at the Eva Parker Woods Cottage. This time of the year is such a wonderful, beautiful, and festive time of the year, as we have just been through our Halloween and shared spooky stories on our last virtual talk story, but we're now in the month of November and the time of Thanksgiving. And so we're going to be sharing stories about Thanksgiving and talking about Thanksgiving, giving thanks and giving lays as well. So welcome. Hello.
Aloha, Christy.
Yes. We're so fortunate to have two of our dear friends who we've known for many, many years. And we thank them for these beautiful lays, puakeni lays. And
that's Hawaiian style.
yes.
You know,
yes.
we bring love, we bring male onos, and then look, we beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. But we intuited, leaving Hilo, puakeni is such a gift.
Yes.
And I thought, well, they have melia on this side, so we'll make for our hair. But to bring to you folks, that
well,
was
thank you
important
so
to us.
much.
That marks our friendship.
And lays made by a family member
Yes,
as well.
Master laymaker Randy Lee,
yes.
holds court at the Hilo Farmers Market. He has a booth with lay, and then behind him, this beautiful contingency of kupuna who sit and support him while he's making,
how wonderful.
making lay. He has all his little entourage behind him.
Lovely.
Yesterday.
And Randy is related to
Actually,
both
both of
sides
us.
of the family.
Yes,
so.
both to Danny and to
To
myself.
watch this production.
Yes.
Yes.
Hear his name.
So thank you for these beautiful lays and cousin Randy, mahalo
Yes,
for
mahalo Andrei Loa.
beautiful lays
So
which
happy
we
to
will enjoy. I wish all of you could
receive this.
smell the wonderful
Smell
fragrance
of
of these lays. Oh, it's so.
Well, my name is
Nauna.
Laina'ala. Laina'ala is sweet-smelling lay of flowers, so I'm compelled
Yes,
and driven because of my name
To share
the
fragrant lays.
Yes.
So this is the perfect matching your name, Laina'ala.
Yes.
Mahalo. And my daughter Kamalani, heavenly child. When she sings, you'll get chicken skin, I promise. It's really wonderful that she's here with me.
And so we're so fortunate in coming all the way from the Hilo side of the island, Christy Laina'ala and her daughter, Kamalani Kapeliela.
Who has roots here in Kohala that we look
Yes.
over and see. We came over Saddle Road, choke goats and sheep.
Oh, yes.
Yes, in
Busy.
Kona also, all along the main
yes,
highway and
You
byways.
just got to be very, akahele, very careful when you drive.
Respect the wildlife.
Yes.
I know we were in Molokai last weekend, just this past weekend, and instead of goats, they have deer.
Deer, right?
Oh, yes.
Well, look at Maui having a little deer.
So when the sun goes down, everybody says, drive slowly and watch out for those crossing deer.
Yes, it's important.
Yes.
So here we are in Konane,
Oh, actually, Kohala.
Kohala,
South
right?
Kohala,
We're kind of-
yes.
Yes, very
Yes.
near
But
to
they kind of
North
put
But
Kona.
Kohala is not. I mean, Kona is not too far from here.
right.
You know, just south of Kalahuipua, which is the Ilikupono of Waimea, which is the Okana, like a big ahupua, but
Yes.
Okana, but within the moku of Kohala, and just south of us, you know, just beyond Anaiho'omalu, we come to Kapalawa, which is North Kona.
North Kona.
Yes.
So we thought we would share Ikona
Yes.
in honor of our Kona roots, in honor of our locale, sort of, kind of. How about we
Yes.
do that?
Yes. Yeah, we'll share in this song, and then they would talk story a little bit,
Go
and
back to Thanksgiving.
yeah. But I think that song would be
All right,
perfect.
that's a good idea. In C.
And C, okay.
Ia Ikona kai opua. Ia Ikona kai opua. Ika lai. Aole Malihini mako Yahweh Ikona Ike kono Ke aloha no mako Haina Haina ia maiana kapuana haohelua elike ai me oe.
Lovely.
Beautiful song of Kona, Ikona.
Yes, and all the malihini that are so graciously welcomed there.
Yeah. Now, you know, growing up, you grew up in Kona or Hilo side?
I grew up in Hilo, but spent a lot of time in Kona and was
Yes.
always happy to go visit my cousins and
Yes.
play in the pastures and jump all around the place like that. So coming home to Kona is always good because my great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother were born on the slopes of Hualalai. How many people make claim to that?
And their
right?
names?
Well, my great-grandmother was Christine Lillinois Roy, who married Mr. Wall. I'm Christy, named after my great-grandmother. Kamalani is Christina, named after her great-great-grandmother. And tonight she actually wears a ruby and gold necklace that belonged to her great-great-grandmother, given to her for her birthday.
Oh, how
And then my
nice.
great-great-grandmother was Laika Makua Eliza Davis, and her father was John Davis, who was a nephew of Isaac Davis, who along with John Young were captured off of the Fair American and became consorts to Kamehameha the First. And so in 1810, when my great-great-great-grandfather's uncle came to Hawaii, that began the legacy of the Welsh and the European people coming into our Hawaiian family. but most of our family is in Kona, so I love coming this side.
Right.
Love coming this side.
You know, and in the history of ranching in Hawaii, really it started out in Kona,
yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
When cattle were first brought into the islands by Captain George Vancouver,
yes,
first
Captain
in
Vancouver brought them over,
1793,
right.
then 1794, when he found Kamehameha at Kealakekua, gifted the cattle to the king, but advised the king to place a kapu in the cattle for at least 10 years to allow the cattle to ho'onui, to propagate,
Flourish, yeah.
to flourish. And of course, so the first stone pen called Panui is built up on the family ranch.
Yes, and it's quite a sight to see. Whenever I see a stone wall, I'm so humbled. I think of all the hundreds of hands and pohaku and the intellect that went into building really incredible stone wall. And it was, to contain the cattle. And I imagine when the Scottish explorers came here, they felt very much akin and very much at home when they saw the green of Waimea and they saw the stonework, because I'm sure it was very evocative of what they'd left home in Scotland. You look side by side pictures of Scotland and Waimea, you can see quite the similarity. So I'm sure in their hearts they thought, we could settle here, you know? But our ancestors were Welsh when they came over, and then Scottish, Irish, French, German, all these mixing in with the Hawaiians.
Right, right. And I would think that climate may have been somewhat similar, you know, especially being up the Kohivi, up in the high mountain areas where you have the cooler weather, cooler climates, cooler temperatures, the uhiwai, the mist rolling in.
We have a cousin named Uhivai. She's darling. She's one of the wall ohana.
Yes.
And the great thing about our family is, yes, we are ranchers and cattle and horses, and they tried sheep, but sheep didn't do as well as cattle. But generations upon generations of families, our families, took care of cattle ranches. Now it's primarily a matriarchy taking care of cattle and ranch lands. I think that's brilliant.
Yes.
You know that we had a matriarchy here. It was the mamas in our family who were out there running the ranch lands, and the papas probably providing the income behind the impetus to keep ranches and cattle rolling.
Yeah, and talking about that matriarchs, your grandmother.
My grandmother
Kapua.
was amazing. The
Hewer.
first woman inducted into the Hawaii Cowboy Hall of Fame. She was 89 years old.
Amazing.
She grew up in a time where chasing cattle off the mountain and swimming them out to the boats was what you did. That's how Honolulu got fresh beef. It came on the hoof. It came on the little boats that traveled between this coast and Honolulu. And she was part of that group of people, and it was second nature. She never had to be taught. It was just what you did. It was a DNA thing, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I remember seeing a photograph of her in the center of these tall, big Hawaiian cowboys.
These beautiful big men were all her cousins, and they absolutely enjoyed having her. What I heard and saw when we would go up to Kukaiao Ranch and brand with the cowboys up there, everybody liked Nana because she was a good healer. Anybody can throw a horn catch, but Nana could catch the other end. So you could stretch your pee-pee and get in there and brand and inoculate and mark and cut the ears and do all these things very quickly. So she was a great hand. And aren't I lucky to come from someplace like that?
Such a legacy.
Now, what is the most favorite memory of Grandma Kapua that you remember?
Whenever we would go on a trail ride, she would have her eke that she would hold over her pommel. And in her eke was her little plastic bottle of vodka.
Oh!
She didn't get on her horse or saddle up
without
knowing where the eke was, because when we were at the end of the trail ride, my sister and I would take the reins, take the rope, take Nana's horse, her name was Olomana, and we would take Olo, and Nana would take her eke.
For medicinal purposes, I'm sure.
And she always said, now, Christy, when you travel around the world, you might be arriving someplace at 3 a.m. in the morning. You want to have a little inu, you want a little kraka, you want a little jelly, because you're going to be hungry. So wherever she went in the world, this is pre-911 and stringent requirements of what you traveled with in your bag. She always had her little
Flask.
flask, and she had her crackers and her cheese. And she'd say, all the rest of my friends, they're fussy because they're hungry. I just take a toot and a cracker and I'm good.
Well,
She
that's,
was wonderful. She was a hard worker. She was an excellent horsewoman. She was a lovely, lovely hostess. She loved hosting people. She loved hospitality. She loved
Yeah.
cooking for people. She was very dear, and she was tiny, and she was so cute because she would figure out a wonderful thing about you and then nickname you. If Nana really liked you, you earned a fun little nickname, and you carried it through the rest of your life.
So, did she have one for you?
No, she just called me Quissy. She turned Christy into Quissy, but she would sing to me in her house. You know, she had a big holly, and she would sing in the house. She'd call for me, Quissity, Quissity, Quissity Lay, where are you? And I'm just so small, and I'm responding to my Nana, but she was quite influential in bringing music into my ear and into my life too, because Grandpa, way before you had lots of stereo speakers in your hale, he put them in her house, and she loved Mahi Beamer. So she would play Mahi Beamer all day in the hale and sing along with Mahi. And I thought, isn't that fabulous? So she loved her music, and she was a darn good cowgirl. And my daughter and I, same thing. We love our music. We're darn good cowgirls.
yes. Well, good combination.
Nice combination. I think
It's
it's
a good
intriguing
combination.
and exciting, and we're happy to be here to represent that, because we are proud to be Hawaii Island girls and proud to come from a family of people who are still running cattle and still a vital part of the maintenance of the Ahupua'a Mauka Makai. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and we know that, and we're always very humbled and pleased to have a chance to speak about it. Yeah. My daughter, when she was small, my mom had one of those horses you'd call a babysitter.
Oh,
Put the baby on the horse, let the horse go through the pasture, and Kama, she would sit on this horse and sing, so small, and sing. And when you tried to get her off the horse, she'd lock her legs. And she'd scream. She'd be
I don't wanna
sitting there
get
just
off.
with her diaper. I'm not getting up. Throw a fit, because if you left the horse and the child alone, you heard this beautiful baby voice coming through the pasture, and you could see it was all good. So it was just our lifestyle. You stick them on a horse. And then with her dad being a musician, you give her an instrument. Nice.
Got a beautiful combination.
Yes.
Right? Fun. Intriguing.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So
you
Kama
know-
comes, yes, go ahead.
yeah. No, you know, and it's wonderful to know that Grandma not only introduced you to paniolo ship, I would say, but also to music.
And the way that music was a part of the presentation of hospitality. You invited people over for a beautiful dinner, and she would set this gorgeous koa table, so you get chicken skin. And it would potluck, and then when people were all finished, my sister and I would go around and say, may I please take your plate? May I please take your napkin? She paid us $2 a night to do this. And when we had cleared the table, and she used big monkey pod wood plates, which are gorgeous, our job was to actually stay in the kitchen, but Uncle Floyd Hopi'i would sit down at the piano, and then the aunties would come with their ukuleles and stand by the piano. I could not stay in the kitchen with my sister. My naughty little feet would carry me, and Nana had a pile of zabuton under the piano. I would sit on the zabuton, wrap an arm around the leg of the piano, and then experience life through the curtain of all these beautiful mu'umu'us, because I'm down on the floor, the aunties are up here, and I'm sitting under a pounding piano going, this is my tribe. They just don't recognize me yet. But I knew from when I was small, I needed to be there where music was, where song and dance. And Charles K.L. Davis was a frequent visitor, and he would bring his brother Francis. And Francis was fabulous at dancing the hula Mauna Loa. He and my Nana would dance Mauna Loa. I never knew why they needed a handkerchief or
Their hainaka.
I didn't understand, but the look in their eyes told me something was up. Something kolohi is going on.
Hainaka
at our
popo.
floor, right?
Popo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Popopo. Aiia eke elelu.
Yes.
So she gave us tradition, and she gave us traditional Hawaiian music, but she blended it with friendship and pa'ina and wonderful food and beautiful dresses and handsome men, and it was just this beautiful composite that we got to glean from. I'm always going to feel very lucky that I was there.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, in those times too, the women really dressed
Oh, they
elegantly
did. The women
to
had
visit.
darling shoes in the fabric that matched their mu'u or their. Some came in cheongsam, you know, and just the Betty mu'us were very popular. Every so often, a sort of elegant holomu would show up, but it was dressed to the nines. Dressed to the nines.
And the lays. I remember the
Yes.
lays would come
Very
all the
long
way down to the knees.
Yes, they
So
were
beautiful.
Yes. Lays have evolved. That's going to be a whole nother story, but lays have evolved. Remember, there was a time when the carnation lei was the coveted lei to wear, the huge.
And it was so commonplace, really, to
Yes.
see it, the red and the
Yes,
white and the pink.
right?
Oh, and thick, triple.
Yes, and now we have such beautiful lei like these, kika and pukeni keni, and we like to wear lei pupu. But leis were a very important part of it. And the darling thing was, my sister and I, we're 6, 7, 8 years old. Our job was to also say, may I take your eke and put it on Nana's bed? So instead of babies all over the bed, it was this beautiful lineup of darling evening bags. And this was the time in our history where you trusted people. You left your bag unattended, it was okay. So as children, our job was to learn very early how to say, may I please help you? May I please take your plate? May I please bring you something? She taught us this gracious way of being. Here's your $2. And then she teased it, don't spend it on candy. Yeah. No kanake. Yeah.
Don't spend it all one time.
Right, $2.
$2. That's big money.
That's big bucks
Because
when
in
you're
those
6 or 7.
in those days, you know, they had penny candies. And that penny could buy you a pack of Kit Kats. Not Kit Kats, but kits. And they were
Or
like
Baby
squares of,
Jane
yeah, there was like
candy,
squares of taffy. Four.
Yeah.
Four nice pieces for 1 cent. 1 penny.
$2.
$2. Oh, rich.
Or 5 cents could get one cuttlefish.
Right?
The whole
little
red
bag,
cuttlefish.
Sour lemon. Right?
Oh, crack seed in the paper bag.
I remember shopping at mom and pop stores in the days when they had the big glass jar containers. That was
There was one on the
fabulous.
corner of Kukuao and Kilauea Street, across from the road from the Hongwanji, the Japanese Hongwanji. And it was right on the corner. And the whole store is just filled with these huge glass jars, filled with all kinds of preserved fruits and lemons and even rice crackers
I know,
and
it was
just
a beautiful
kanake,
sight.
all kinds of candies. And
I love that we grew up in that time.
Yes.
Mom and pop stores were still an integral part of my 25 cents went pretty far at Ainapo's store boy.
Oh, gosh.
Hi, folks. Aloha.
Aloha,
Aloha.
KK.
Happy holidays.
Clarice and Jordan.
Happy holidays.
Good to have you join us. Aloha.
Yes.
Yes. Come and join us. Anyway, maybe a nice time to add in another song.
Well, we're sitting here and we're looking out toward Kohala, and that's where my daughter comes from. She's a Kapeliela. Her great grandmother was Sarah Pule, and she was married to a Koni Pule, for whom the highway is named. That is her roots, and she comes out of the Kamehameha line. So she's a strong Kohala girl, and I'm always really proud. We were waiting to come over this side, and a couple of the people working right in the lobby, Newcomer's brothers, and Hana, is this your nephew? No, cousin, what? Oh, anyway, long story short, we're going to share Keokea Paka, a song written by her great-great-grandmother, taking us to Keokea and reminding us what a special and beautiful place this is.
Keokea is a Niuli'i.
Yeah,
Niuli'i,
in
the end of the road
Niuli'i.
almost.
Yeah, where our family is from, on my mom's side,
There we
Niuli'i.
go. So let's celebrate our
The Yap
Kohala.
family.
Yap.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Pake side and Hasi, and on my side, Hasi
We're
family.
all right there.
Yes,
We
we're
are
all
all right there.
all
with each
Hana,
other.
yeah, it's like,
I'm just the middle. In F.
Aloha ia no ke o ke a paka he paka hohi a kamalini ie hie noi kau mai luna Aloha iano ke o ke apaka he paka hohi a kamalihini yehi e noi kau mai luna Nena malapua nani e kaulana nei uluwehi o kalau o kaniu holona pea e ana me kamakani Nena malapua nani e kaulana nei uluwehi o kalau o kaniu holona pea e ana me kamakani Nane ano ho'i ke lohe i kai e hawana e nei ho pulu i ka ili o ke anu Nane ano ho'i ke lohe i kai e hawana e nei ho pulu i ka ili o ke anu Haina ia mai ana kapuana he pakahohi a kamalihini ke o ke apaka ko inoa ia Haina ia mai ana kapuana he pakahohi a kamalihini ke o ke apaka ko inoa ia Yay!
My daughter Kamalani
yes.
Kapeliela with her great-great-grandmother's song.
What a beautiful blend, mother and daughter.
Oh, mahalo
blend.
nui,
Boy.
Anakala. Garu, it's the DNA.
Okay.
It's already there.
So beautifully
Years
matched.
ago, she and I got to play music for a week on the Pride of America. And the piano player in the lounge told me, you know, there's nothing like a mother-daughter or a father-son. It's there's a certain warmth that family members have when they sing together. I was so tickled, I was so touched, but mostly I was so
Kako.
thrilled. When she was really little, she started to show that she could sing. And her dad, in his wonderful way, Bunda Kapeliela, this is what he says to me. Oh, Mom, baby, she can hold a tune, no? Yeah. Mom, we would love him even if no could hold tune, no? But we love him even more, no? She can hold the tune.
Hey, she get good voice.
She good voice.
I
And
think
she
he can.
could harmonize very early on, very quickly.
Wow.
She just
Wonderful.
had that innate sense. And I
Oh.
remember before Smitty passed away, he said, Sis, how do you explain harmony to somebody who thinks harmony is octave or octave? And I said, I know, right? It's hard to explain harmony if you don't get it intrinsically, if it doesn't just come naturally. You have to really work on it. But
Yeah.
how fortunate to have this beautiful young woman by my side who is the child of my own opu.
May kung nao.
And she can borrow my shoes. Oh, this is a great story. When she has two lovely children, and when she was hapai to the first one, she said, "Oh, Mom, I don't need to buy pregnancy clothes. I'll just borrow yours."
And I
Thank
did.
you, child. Thank you. But she has great humor and she has great grace, and I'm so very proud whenever I get to sit and play with her. She loves to sing and play with her dad, but she does okay with me too. She does all right.
I think
I
it's
think
a
we
nice,
get them.
It's a beautiful
fact,
combination. You've got it
as
from
much
both
as I want
sides.
to join in and sing, but I don't want to interrupt that
that's
nice
okay.
harmony that you both have.
It's so
So I'm just kinda
beautiful, mesmerizing.
staying back,
you.
holding back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think of Uncle Clyde Kindy Sproat, how he would ride his big-eared kikaki with his ukulele and his beautiful papale and just be the happiest soul out there. So
Yes.
Kohala is certainly a place where so much music, so much deep mana'o as far as the delivery of a song. Bunda taught me, he said, no sing to show off, you know. He used to give me a bad time. He said, sing from the heart, just sing from the heart. And when he told me that, it made all the difference. And I realized, you're right, sing from the heart. Sing with the love of the person who wrote the song, the love of the place that the song came from, the love of the person that you're singing with. Sing from the heart. So all of you, sing from the heart, in the shower, wherever you are. And it will be a beautiful experience for you and whoever's listening.
Yeah, that's a good place for me to be when I sing,
Right?
alone in the shower.
So the acoustics.
So, as we come into this, we're into the holiday season. I always look at Halloween as like the start of the holiday
To
season, the
me,
festive
Halloween
season.
means I can turn on Christmas music.
That's
So
right.
November 1st, Pandora switched over from spa music to the Andy Williams station because I grew up with the sounds of Andy Williams, Ray Conniff, Johnny Mathis,
Oh, yes.
Burl Ives, Andy
Nat
Williams
King
and the
Cole.
Bing
Nat King
Crosby,
Cole,
yeah, Nat
Bing
King Cole.
Crosby.
Yeah.
Those are the sounds
Yes.
that just make my heart sing because I hear this music and I'm reminded of being small, being safe, having a mom and a dad and a sister, and I love that music puts you in a place and it can bring you back to that place. And so with the holidays coming, I'm all about Christmas music
Yes,
again. And
yes.
I just told Kama, I'll be working on Thanksgiving Day, but my dad also told me, sweetheart, somebody's got to work on the holidays, and in your profession, it's going to be you. So just do it graciously.
Yeah.
So I'll work at the yacht club, and then I'll come over to Kona and house sit for my cousin Weejay Paris, so she can go to Molokai for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
But I told my daughter, you come to the house on Wednesday and let's put our turkey together. We'll bake a pumpkin pie and a pecan pie. And your boyfriend, Kalai, he can sit and listen to football. Because in my mind, football and a turkey in the oven is this all-American experience that I really just get so excited about. Because I love the sound of football while you're baking. They go hand in hand. So we're going to set it all up. I get very excited. And then what I taught my children to do is when we have extra, is we get some extra little plates and tinfoil and whatnot, and when we're finished with our dining and our Thanksgiving, we go out into Hilo town because we have a lot of homeless people. And I've taught my children, you go to that uncle and you hug him and say Happy Thanksgiving or Merry Christmas or I love you. It's okay. I'm here. We're all in this community. So our Thanksgiving will start in the kitchen, but it will also end up a little bit in doorways in Hilo. And we're confident and we feel safe about doing that. But how can we sit and not share? So that's what Thanksgiving will be for us. We'll make enough for our family. We'll make enough to slice for sandwiches. We'll make enough so we have chuk for a couple of days.
oh yes, gotta have the joke.
But we'll have enough to share with whoever.
Those that are not.
That
Less
less
fortunate.
fortunate, yeah.
Yes.
Wherever we are guided
Yes.
in that event, we'll also share that. And we learn that at home too.
Yeah.
My Nana was never hila. She was never shy about taking people under her wings, as it were. She just loved humanity, and she gave us that gift. And I see that in my daughter, and I see that in my son, and I see that we've cultivated that. Don't forget, there's more than just us. There's others around us, and when they have less than us, it is our obligation to aloha them and do it gently and with humility and kindness, truly kindness.
You're
I think.
raising kind, compassionate humans.
Yes, no, it's important.
Yes.
It is. I was telling my daughter, so excited. I've had a gecko living in my window for the past couple of days, and I feel so sad because I realize he's stuck inside because he's like this. And so I said, I'm going to give him the cup treatment. I'm going to chase him with the cup. So I finally caught him, and I covered the cup with an envelope, and I took him outside, and he just sprung out of
Free at last.
freedom. So even down to the smallest element of life, my children know that. We pick up and take care of critters. It's part of the ranching mentality is you kokua. You keep your eyes open. So that's why I'm interested in the goats and the sheep. I want to make sure that, I toot the horn if they're too close to the side.
Cross the road safely.
Right, cross the road safely.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thanksgiving, we should all
So
be
yes.
grateful and share what we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your memories of growing up, well, on the ranch and Thanksgiving time.
How lucky am I to have ridden all over this island on horseback, to have gone all the way up the slopes of Hualalai, and you feel sorry for the horses because it's a real slope going up to Hualalai, and they're panting and you have to stop. But I've been blessed because I have a family who has friends, who has the gate key, who has enough trailers and trucks and horses and saddles that we've traveled all over this beautiful island. And to see the curve of the earth from the top of Hualalai is a most amazing sight. You really can see it. It's very exciting. You can see all the islands. You see Lanai, for heaven's sakes. It's a beautiful thing. So Kona figures well in my love of music. It figures well in my love of Hawaiian culture because our Hawaiian ancestors came out of Kona. And then when I was with Kama's dad, we spent so much time in Kohala, and I learned so much about Kohala and what it means to be a person of Kohala. It's a completely different universe than anywhere on this island. And so I came to love and appreciate all the music that I learned, all the table jams at Keokea. I listened, I paid attention, and then this is a beautiful representation of life of Kohala. What comes out of Kohala is somebody like my daughter.
Now, I understand you are working on an
Just
recording.
yesterday, I finished. Can you pass me the book?
That I
Pass me my paper. I finished a beautiful album. It's called Kolima Nani'e, and it's all hula songs. And
Those beautiful hands, those
Yes.
lovely hula hands.
Kolima Nani'e. And the beauty of this is I've worked on it for a month. We recorded, then I did all my own artwork. And then finally, I mastered my files and put them into a system, and now they're being made into a CD. And in about 3 weeks, I'll have them. And on December 15th, Kolima Nani'e will be available in all digital platforms.
So the perfect Christmas gift, right?
Yeah.
It really is, because it's all for hula dancers. I noticed that a lot of what I have done in my life is devoted to hula dancers. And so it was a real joy to put together an album that has true koholo that get you ready for the song, and a true outro so you can have a gracious ending. And maybe we could have Anna dance a hula for us, since we're talking about Kolima Nani'e.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
Oh.
Sure.
A song
Which
that
is
comes to
another-
us
yes.
from France's Keali'i no Hopono.
Yes.
Yes.
Ku'uhoa, my friend.
My
My
companion.
beautiful friend. And Anna is certainly always a beautiful friend. I have seen her dance in Waipio Valley. I have seen her dance
In my red
Maupo'opono,
rubber
in
boots.
the red rubber boots with her fabulous palaka shirts. So this is for all of our friends, our loved ones. Ku'uhoa, a favorite song.
Yes.
In C.
Okay.
Hello,
Hello.
Hello, huh? Ho'imai. Woohoo! Kapa. Woohoo. Oh, Kapa.
O kapa konane akamahina ahumale no kekai opua.
Haina. Haina pao.
Haina mai kapuana Uho makaona ona no hoi ke kua iu.
The lovely hula hands
Oh,
of our friend.
mahalo.
Wonderful.
Such an honor to hula with you.
You know, we have
Kalamai.
such a great
Mahala nui loa
friendship
yao.
among us. We've gone camping together and spent
Yes.
several days and nights together singing and enjoying each other's company and talking story. And PE is a part of it. You don't see him, but he's right out there. And I think that's the joy of any community, is when you have friends who do the same things that you do. The last time we were together, we were playing music at Shell Pahinui's place
That's
in honor
right.
of Cyril Pahinui's birthday. And the great thing is, Danny comes up in his ka'awila, and he has his whole bunch of people with him, friends,
Guests from
guests
the
from
Mauna
Mauna
Lani.
Lani.
Lani. And so I immediately, come, you folks here, have some water, have some poo-poo. You
Yes.
need to go to the lua, come, let's go. We made them be a part of us. It was a special filming, same thing, a virtual filming, honoring Cyril Pahinui's birthday
Yes.
and recognizing the legacy of Gabby Pahinui. And it's just always a wonderful thing to watch Danny Akaka sit with his ukulele and just make magic. And it was beautiful, really, really nice. And I loved the day because there again, it's a group of people who are musicians, but on the outside, we're all friends too.
Yes.
And then that makes the music even sweeter and the experience even more poignant, because it's not like we're just random strangers. We have each other's history in our back pocket. We know the little stories along the way. And it makes our music much more ono. So a night like this is more ono because we've camped together next to the river in Waipio Valley. We've camped together next to the roar of the ocean at Laupahoehoe. And we've come together in this most beautiful of settings here at Eva Parker Woods. Oh, you see? Kanikapu.
The sound of the conch
Right? So it's kind of like
yeah.
acknowledging what we're just saying.
as they light the torches of the hotel.
Yes.
Yes. It's such a beautiful time of the day, this
Napo'okala.
Napo'okala, the time of sunset, you know, this time of molehu, dusk. It's such a very special, very sacred and solemn time
That
of the
just
day.
gives me inspiration for the next album. It will be called Molehu.
Yes.
Songs that you sing into the night.
Yes.
Right?
Boy. Well, you have another project
There we
coming
go.
up.
You know,
The next one.
This one is Pau.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that this year I had a project that was nominated for a Nahoku Hano Hano Award. And it featured my daughter on 2 of the songs that we did. That was a huge and wonderful blessing.
Yeah.
And then with this album, Kolima Nani E, I told my daughter, okay, it makes no sense if I don't have hands. So come in the garden, let's do pictures with your hands. She has, show your hands, just make a hula hand. She has like an extra length digit where I have short hands. She has like these long, elegant fingers. So we went into our garden the other day and took a couple of beautiful photos, and I've incorporated her beautiful hands into my album. So when you open it up, you see her hands. And it's so gratifying to have somebody like her. She kind of lets me just drag her along wherever I'm going to go and what I'm going to do. But then I'm showing her the way my grandmother taught me about hospitality and aloha and welcoming people. My daughter is learning from me. She used to say, Mom, why you gotta talk in that important voice? I said, baby, that's my money voice. But when I listen to her speak and articulate, I see that she has learned very well.
The King's English.
And so I might be
Yes.
her mentor, but she is my muse. And what a beautiful combination. Beautiful combination.
So erudite in your expression. You articulate it
Oh,
so
yes.
beautifully.
Oh, yes.
Well, being that we don't have too much time left as the sun slowly sinks
As the
towards
sun
Komohana,
sinks,
the west, is there another song that you may want to bring our beautiful evening to a close?
Yes. Kana'iau puni.
Kana'iau puni?
Kana'iau puni.
Okay, we can kana'iau puni.
Okay. You know, and as we come to the end of this evening, we really mahalo, you know, all those who have over the years supported this wonderful program, from our Twilight at Kalahui Pu'a to now our virtual talk story. And of course our wonderful Mauna Auberge Hotel and
And the Friends of the Future
the
as
Friends
well.
of the Future
Supported us.
who has supported us.
And then
You know,
you folks coming
and
and
all of those volunteers that
Yes.
come that are behind the cameras that you don't even get to see. You know,
Yes.
but we mahalo all
Mahalo
of
nui
them.
loia uko apau, Kioni, Susan. How is
Yes.
it? Yeah.
like here.
Yes,
And-
and
See.
Bob and Sophie.
And PE and
Oh yeah,
Liz.
don't forget PE.
Mahalo
Yes.
nui loa. Ay.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my silent strums. Okay. Hey, Hawaii. Hey, Hawaii, nui kua uli. He na hono a o pilani. O ahu o ka kuhi hema. Kauai o mano kalani po. Kauai o mano kalani po. E nai wale no ko. I kupono a ole pau. I ke kumupono Hawaii. E mau ke o kaina I ka pono. E mau ke o kaina I ka pono. I ho'okahi kahi kamana'o. I ho'okahi kahi puwai. I ho'okahi kahi ke aloha. E mau ke o kaina I ka pono. E mau ke o kaina I ka pono. E nai wale no kou. I kupono a ole pau. I ke kumupono Hawaii. E mau ke au kaina I ka pono. E mau ke au kaina I ka pono.
Yeehaw.
Kana'iau puni, my daughter, Kamalani.
Well, we want to thank both of you for joining us on our virtual talk story here for the month of November. And as we look forward to a wonderful, beautiful holiday season.
Yes.
And a safe one at that, you know.
Wear your mask, wash your hands.
Yes.
Watch out for the goats and the sheep.
Yes. And malama each other. Take care of
Yes.
each other. You know, we have that saying, aloha ke kahi ke kahi.
Yes.
Love one another.
Yes.
Yeah, take care of each other. So we want to, you know, until the next time that we can all gather again, we want to send our aloha to all of you out there. As we come into our Thanksgiving, hau'oli la ho'omaikai. Such a blessed time of the year, and want to thank all of you for listening in and watching us each month as we do these
Virtual talk stories
Virtual
out on the
talk
porch
stories.
at the Eva Parker Woods Cottage. Yes.
here at Kalahui Pua'a, the home of Mauna Lani Auberge. So from all of us to all of you, we want to say mahalo a nui loa, ahui ho kako,
Ai, ke ako pua hui ho no kako.
Aloha.
aloha.